Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to this latest episode of Movies Merica. Spoiler warning on this Thirsty Thursday, this pre-Friday, and we are. Well, I was about to say we're getting all Greek up here in here tonight. You're over the Odyssey right there, but there's very little Greek about this Odyssey right here. It's almost like there was some kind of conspiracy to take as much Greek out of the Odyssey as possible. But that's a whole bunch of controversial, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, mumbo jumbo, whatever foolishness. That would never ever happen, right? No, not at all. So I'm just being paranoid, okay? But anyway, we're gonna get into some Odyssey here tonight, Christopher Nolan's Odyssey, and we'll basically talk about that in depth. We're going to talk about it with the potential spoilers in it as well. So be warned. That's why this show is called Movies Merica Spoiler Warning. And you also have a chance to talk about it too here on the show. You don't have to just sit there and listen to me yap about it. All right. You can get involved as well. But I'll get into how you can get in here and you can have your voice heard as well. But not until after this.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
All right, my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics out there, welcome to the show. And any newbies that we have joining the show here tonight, that is fantastic to know you're here and that you're joining the show. And just to let you know, in case you haven't watched the show before, what the show is all about. So, this show is tailored specifically, well, not only to these people, but tailored specifically to the kind of people that they go see a movie and the movie is either profoundly good or profoundly bad to them, and they just can't shut up about that movie right there. And that would be this guy right here. Okay, I'm one of those guys. And you want an outlet to just talk about this movie, Fight Club's like one of those movies, right? The Matrix, Obsession that just came out here recently. Those are movies where people don't just go see the movie and then the end credits start rolling and they're like, all right, hey, who's for apple pie? Yeah, let's never talk about that movie again. Let's just, hey, don't I have an oil change tomorrow? You like, no, those those are movies where people just want to keep talking about them, and discussing them and how the movie made them feel. And what did you think about this scene right here? Did you catch what they were doing in this scene? And do you think that meant what I think it meant? What did that action? What did that character do? What does that mean to you? Like you want to talk about it, that the movie, ad nauseum, in depth. You want to really break it down. You want to do an autopsy on the movie. And so if you're one of those people, again, like me, then this is a show for you because, yeah, sure. I'm the talking head on here, just yip, 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 on camera here, all about that. But you guys can get in the live chat. All right. And tonight in particular, you could talk the Odyssey. And, people be having opinions about this movie. All right. That's for sure. We got like a Hatfields versus McCoy's but rivalry and a very deep, I don't know, kind of like just a little, I'll just use the word war. There's a war, there's two sides to this war right here. There's a war over this movie. There's a side, they're sucking off Christopher Nolan pretty good. His wife is getting jealous and whatnot, and Nolan's the greatest. Nolan's the best. Nolan's the ultimate director in the known universe. The Odyssey, give it all the Oscars. It's totally cool. You know, what's the word I'm looking for? Its inaccuracies are sublime. They're good inaccuracies because they're inaccuracies for a modern audience. For God's sakes, the Odyssey finally is getting the rapper that is always deserved. I mean, that's the one thing about the original Odyssey from Homer. It didn't have a gangster rapper in it. All right, this one at least has Travis Scott in it. All right, so there's that side, and there's the other side going, um, yeah. Why do Greeks look Korean in this movie? Um, why does Helen of Troy look like Wesley Snipes with tits? Why do all the Greeks look like the floor of the United Nations? And and then riddle me this there, Christopher Nolan. Um, yeah. Um, why do we have somebody that looks like an 11-year-old girl, um, who ironically is a woman who's pretending to be a man, but still manages to look like an 11-year-old little boy, cast as one of Odysseus's soldiers? What is that all about? I don't get that, So something just doesn't feel right. And matter of fact, on top of that, why did you basically essentially just tell Greece to go screw itself? Not one Greek actor or anything like that. You have world premieres for this movie in LA and London and all these towns around the world. Not one premiere in Athens, Greece, or any other Greek town. A little peculiar. A little peculiar right there. So there's that side in the war there as well. So there's the first side calls everybody a bunch of racists and misogynists if they don't like the movie. The other side is like, yeah, what's with this? Why are you turning the Odyssey into a funhouse mirror? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, why are you taking all the Odyssey out of the Odyssey? Okay, that kind of thing. So yeah, if you're on either one of those sides or maybe somewhere in the middle, yeah, get in a live chat because that's what this show is all about right there. Okay, so all right, let's get into this. And now, like I said, we're going to get into spoilers in this movie. This movie's been out, since technically last Thursday night for all us common folk. I know all the elites they've gotten to see the movie for probably over a month now, world premieres and press screenings and all that stuff right there. But for us regular folk, for us peasants, yeah, it's only been out for us since last Thursday or whatever right here, but still plenty of time to see the movie. And based on the box office grosses, I mean, this is the highest grossing Christopher Nolan movie in its first weekend. So gotta give it its due. There you go. And I was never one of those guys. I was never one of those because I'm in the second group, in those two groups that I just mentioned there, where I think the Odyssey is quite frankly just a kind of a meh movie. It's Christopher Nolan's worst. It was dull in a lot of scenes for me. I would much rather watch Brad Pitt's Troy movie any day of the week and twice on Sunday than this right here, right there and whatnot. But I also do recognize it is the highest gross Christopher Nolan movie of all time right there. So I know people be watching the Odyssey. So I know people can come on the show here and have some thoughts about the Odyssey right here. But again, that's another reason why I'm dropping spoilers. I'm not even worried about it here. So, but at the end of the movie, okay, there's the climactic fight, right, where Odysseus returns home to Ithaca, right? Which tell me how what you think in the live chat there. But I thought that his return to Ithaca was like so non-eventful, so it wasn't monumental at all. Okay, it wasn't like this. There was no like rapturous music, as his as he floats, closer and closer to Ithaca, and the soaring music. Oh, oh, oh my God, there's Ithaca, my home. It's been so long. I'll finally get to see my beloved wife and my beloved son, and this triumphant soaring music. There was nothing like that. It was like just one second he's with Calypso, next second he's on Ithaca. All right, there we go. Wow. Thanks for the big, the rapturous, uplifting, inspirational moments there, Christopher Nolan. My God, stop! Don't overdo it with the emotion there, Christopher Nolan. All right, but he gets there, and then he's got to fight. He's got to fight all the suitors, right? He's in there, and he's under. He's in disguise, right? He's disguised himself as a beggar, right? And he goes into his own home, right? And he sees all these suitors all trying to nail his wife. They want to be the next king of Ithaca, and so he's got to take them out, right? Because these suitors, they don't want Odysseus returning to Ithaca. They want to be the king, right? And so, as part of that, Odysseus he gets into it with these suitors, right? And he's taking on there's 20, 30 suitors in the in his house right there. They're all in this one room, and you've got Penelope, and then I think also Telemachus. I think they both were in on this this prep or this preparation for this meeting with the suitors. And so Telemachus, he makes sure that all the weapons in the room that were hanging on the walls and whatnot, they're up in the armory room or whatever, in the armory, a floor up, right, and nowhere near it. So anything that these suitors could use as weapons has been dispatched, is all gone. So this is all the room has been prepped so that Odysseus can go in there, and again, Odysseus is in disguise. He's trying to be incognito, and then they have and then but it's still 20 to 30 guys, okay, against one guy, right? And so I thought that the big grand finale fight where Odysseus is taking on 20 to 30 guys there with just a bow, I thought it was ridiculous and unbelievable. I mean, I thought it was hilarious how Nolan, as this unbelievable fight is going on, I thought it was hilarious how he just has Robert Pattinson just standing on the sidelines, in this big climactic Odysseus fight, just standing there periodically on the sidelines going, get the, insert weapon name here. Okay. Robert Pattinson's just like, all right, hey, he threw down the spears. Hey, get the spears. All right. Hey, get the swords. Hey, get the knives. Because his buddy, is up and basically broke into the armory up above, and he basically just pounded a hole in the floor. So now there's a hole, in the ceiling, and so his buddy's up there dropping spears out of the armory and swords and knives and that kind of thing. And Robert Pattinson is he's just more than happy to let all the other suitors do all the fighting, fight Odysseus. And then again, like I said, Odysseus is taking all these guys. All he's got is a bow. It's not like he's Tom Cruise in Collateral where he busts out this, some gun, and he's just ventilating guys with his gun. No, he's got a bow. All right. He's got a bow, and then eventually he does get his hands on an axe or something like that. So, but I just thought it was funny, just Robert Pattinson's character. I think it's called his name was Attenuous or something, and he's just this gigantic wuss, just letting all the other suitors do all the fighting. And Robert Pattinson the whole time, ooh, get the spears, and then kill him. Get the spears, yeah. And, hey, there's some knives now. Ooh, get the knives. Fight Odysseus, kill him. All right, go. So I love it. Hey, I thought I saw something out of my right here. We've got Unfolding Joker in the live chat on the Rumble side saying this is the episode I've been waiting for. Absolutely, Harry. Absolutely. And hey, glad you could join us here, and hopefully I can live up to your expectations there, Unfolding Joker. And now, have you seen the Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey? I'm curious to hear. But to your appearance here, good sir. Oh yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So, oh yeah, but yeah, because that's what I want. I want folks coming in here. And you don't have to see the Odyssey. You don't have to have seen the Odyssey to join the show and get a live chat and all that stuff. Especially if you don't care about spoilers. And you might be one of those people that you've heard enough bad things about this movie. You're like, I'm never going to see this, so I don't care. I don't give a crap if it gets spoiled. And plus, it's based on a famous story, so you pretty much know the broad strokes there. I mean, Christopher Nolan does take some liberties with this. It's his adaptation because that's what I've been told like all week long. Whenever I, gripe about, we've got a Helena Troy that looks like Wesley Snipes, and then we've got some 9-year-old little boy, playing Sinat, I believe is his character's name right there, the Ellen Page appearance in this movie right there. So ever since like I'm having to point out how casting like that is actually a bad thing. Okay, right? Just like people that big Black Panther fans, if somebody had the gall to cast a Ryan Gosling or somebody made a new Shaft movie, right? And let's say they cast that guy, what Theo James, the guy from The Gentleman. I don't know if you guys ever seen The Gentleman, that TV show on Netflix. Great show, check it out. Based on the Guy Ritchie movie, but Theo James plays like the lead guy, or Tom Hardy. You can do Tom Hardy. If someone cast Tom Hardy as the new John Shaft, I'm sure that I'd be hearing from black folks and people that want to be black. There's a lot of white people like that out there, rightfully saying, "Hey, casting Tom Hardy is a bad thing as John Shaft. That's a bad thing." And I would agree with them. Like, yeah, that's a bad thing. John Shaft isn't supposed to be white. He's supposed to be black. Okay? I mean, right there. Just like Helena Troy is not supposed to be black. She's supposed to be white. Okay? And so I've heard all week long when I've made that point, like, it's just an adaptation. It's just Nolan doing an adaptation. That's all it is. Okay, what the hell? Hey, there could have been one black woman in Greece, whatnot, and so because there might have been one black person in Greece back in the age of Homer, that means that our Helen of Troy has to be black. Okay, and to that I would say, okay, well, all right. There could have been one. There could have been one white guy wandering around Africa. Could have been one white guy. So the next time we have a Shaka Zulu movie, the Chief Zulu better be played by a white guy, because there could have been a white guy that was wandering around Africa. Could have been. You don't know that there wasn't a white person, wandering around Zimbabwe back in the day. And so because there could have been one white guy around Zimbabwe, we got to make Chief Zulu in the next Shaka Zulu movie a white guy. Okay, because there could have been a white person wandering around Greece. So that means we have to make Helena Troy a white woman. Just got to do it. There you go. So, and I also like, they don't, these Nolan fangirls, the ones that they're more than happy that Greek and Western European culture, that there's a campaign to slowly but surely uh, do away with a whites and Western European culture right there. They're more than happy for this to go down and to have this, have it erased right there. So they love having Helen of Troy as a black woman. But one of the things that they argue is that, well, if why did you have a problem with Matt Damon? He's from Boston. He's not Greek. And I can only speak for myself, but my argument was never, oh, you have to have all Greek actors, because it's going to be pretty damn hard to find all Greek actors for this movie, right? Plus, you have to have somewhat big names to draw people into the theater and whatnot. Okay, so if you got a bunch of actors all with the last name Malakakis or something like that, well, nobody knows who Costas Malakakis is or whatever. You gotta have some names headlining your movie right there. But the thing is, I always just wanted actors that passed for the characters, all right? They pass for the characters, okay? So, and Matt Damon and Robert Pattinson and Tom Holland and Dan Hathaway, they pass for the Greeks of that time way back then, okay? They pass for it, okay? Are they perfect examples of Greeks back then? No. But they sure are a lot closer to perfect than Wesley Snipes as Helen of Troy. I'll tell you that, okay? So I will never apologize for that. But I think the reason that this movie was a hit, to kind of go into that, is the normies that went to sell this movie, and that's, of course, is going to be who made up the most of the ticket sales, is just normies. They don't really even read up on this stuff about Helen of Troy, with Wesley Snipes playing Helen of Troy, or Ellen Page playing a mighty soldier. They don't really read up on that. They're pretty clueless. Okay, all they see is, oh, it's Christopher Nolan. Hey, honey, is that the one that directed that Batman movie? Oh, that's the Dark Knight. I like it, the Dark Knight. Dark Knight is a good. I like it. Yeah. So I'm gonna go see this Christopher Nolan movie. Okay, I like it because it's got Matt Damon in it, and I like it when Matt Damon, does the fighting and the shooting, and he can't remember who he is. I like that. Oh yeah. So let's go see the Odyssey. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay. So there's a lot of that there that just completely unaware, and they're not very deep thinkers, so they don't really think about stuff like this. The slow but steady process, conspiracy of trying to root out white Western European culture. They're never. That's too much for their brain to take in and to comprehend and all that stuff. And so I think that's who made up most of the actual rather impressive box office for the Odyssey. I got to give the Odyssey its due. I got to give the Odyssey its flowers. It made a lot of money, absolutely. So there. So all right. And then another thing. Okay, this is like I'm kind of going to be on a streak of things that I just can't believe about the Odyssey here. Is so talking about when they get to the island with Cersei on it, right? And Cersei the witch, not Cersei from Game of Thrones, a completely different Cersei. Both bad. They're both bad, but this Cersei is from the Odyssey, not Game of Thrones. But so when the Greeks, when Odysseus's men get to the island with Cersei, they have their little mutiny, down on the beach against Odysseus, and they're like, "Hey, Odysseus, you stay here. We'll go. Okay, you go to handle. You go do whatever you want to do. We're going to be the ones. We're going to go onto the island. And we're going to do the exploring. You stay here." And that is announced to him by his right hand man Eurylacus, who's played by an Indian guy. Okay, so Indian, like dots, not feathers. Okay, so think New Delhi, that kind of Indian right there. But Eurylacus is played by this Indian guy, and Eurylacus is heading up the exploration party. We'll say to go see who's on the island. And so Eurylacus and the rest of the Greeks, they're going up the hill. Of course, this is the segment where they start walking by like full size lions and full size tigers, and these lions and tigers are like just all docile, just sitting there, not even attacking the soldiers. And of course, the soldiers are understandably seeing a lion and a tiger, like, oh my god, okay, and then they quickly realize, oh well, this lion and tiger, I don't know what's happening with them. I know they're high on weed or whatever, but they're just sitting there and they're not attacking us. So press on, right? But so they eventually get up to Cersei's little house there, and Cersei's, and Eurylacus is, at first, like, Cersei is afraid, right? So Cersei sees him and screams her bloody head off, and Eurylacus chases her down, and basically has to convince her, hey, we're not going to hurt you. We're not going to hurt you. All right. You have nothing to fear, Cersei. We're not going to hurt you. We're just here. We're hungry. We're tired. Okay. Do you have any, I don't know, food by chance? Okay. And so, he calms her down. They go into her hut. She's cooking up food for them. And so she tells the men, like, okay, I'll cook you food, but you got to leave your weapons and your armor outside. And so they all do that. They all leave it outside. And Eurylacus is like looking around outside, and he sees, like, there's armor and weapons from other soldiers in the past. The weeds are high, around it. They're like, you can tell the stuff's been there for a while. And my question is, why would that not raise his suspicion? When you see that right there, like, why would Eurylacus, not be like, Cersei? Uh, whose armor and weapons are those? Right there, like, explain yourself, woman. Okay, but instead of him doing that, he basically just does it. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing to see here. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. Hey, Cersei, what are you cooking up over there? Okay. Um, and then, of course, then they eat, Cersei's, food, and basically she's using it to turn them into pigs and whatnot. And that's like the one impactful scene in the movie that, that I think really stuck with me, is the whole Cersei turning, Odysseus's men into pigs and whatnot. It's like, it's some real body horror right there. It's a gnarly scene. And you've got the Greek soldiers, they're screaming their bloody head off, while they're, they realize what's happening. Oh my God, I don't know what's happening. Oh my God, look what she's doing to my fellow. Oh, she's stretching his face and deforming him and turning him into a peg and all that. And so it's a gnarly scene. That's for sure. So that all goes down, and then Odysseus happens along, right? And he figures out what Cersei's up to. He basically figures it out, which is another, like, okay, how did he do that? But anyway, so then Odysseus is like, all right, he realizes that the pigs that are outside, those are his men, and Cersei turned them into pigs. And then Odysseus basically convinces Cersei, like, hey, you know what? Turn my men back into men, all right? And then she turns them back into men, and whatnot. So then after Odysseus saves Eurylacus and all the other men, I'm wondering this, like, not one of them talk any shit to Cersei for tricking them and trying to curse them to a life as a pig. Like, not one. Like, they're just gonna walk out of the house. Godspeed to you, lady, who decided to just take out our issues on us by turning us into bacon simply for happening upon your place. Best of luck to you, lady. Like not even Verizon customer service. The guy I was talking about right there is, Odysseus' right hand man, who vehemently communicated to Cersei, like I was talking about earlier, that they weren't going to hurt her, before she basically turned him into Joy Behar. Oink, oh, so wait, no, I mean, a pig right there. Not even he, oinked, snapped at Cersei. Like, not even him? Verizon customer service didn't even do that? What the hell? Okay. Now, if it seems like I'm pissing all over this movie, okay, because I could see how people would get that impression. It's because I'm just trying to keep it real here and whatnot. But if it seems like I'm just crapping and dropping turds all over this movie here, well, you know what? I seem like a Christopher Nolan fangirl compared to this guy.
I just got yanked from the battlefield by some foul sorceress into this cavern full of lights, and now I find myself surrounded by strangers. They do not dress like warriors, yet they speak of Odyssey. Finally, a bard who dares to capture my... What the hell is happening? Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships. Is this burnt-looking hag? You're saying I fought 10 years for that? If the Greeks came to Troy and saw they'd turn the boats right around... That's supposed to be me? The greatest warrior who ever lived? Nolan, you motherfucker! I'm standing right here! Golden boy of the Myrmidons reduced to this soft-looking bitch boy who's never tasted blood! Agamemnon? Why does he look like Batman had sex with Magneto on top of an anvil? That's not a king, it's a boss fight! What in Olympus's name is this? Why is everything the color of wet stone and ash? Look at that garbage. This isn't my armor. We had style. Gleaming bronze, brighter than fire. This makes the Trojan War look like the Depression. Holy Zeus, what are those? Giants? They look like they're wearing more metal than I did through the entire war. In my day, giants were hides, not this walking forge. What do you think you're doing, Bard? You make billion-dollar blockbusters, but you can't give Achilles or Helen proper actors? We invented theater, not this gray English misery. Say it to the people. Say, I'm sorry I turned the Odyssey into the absurdity. I'm sorry I made the Trojan War look like a... Well, guys, time's pulling me back. Tell Hollywood, if you're gonna do the classics, do them right. And for the love of all the gods, cast someone who doesn't look like they're about to tell you their pronouns. And give us a real Helen, not a 40-year-old welfare recipient. This is Achilles, son of Peleus.
See? All right. I mean, I think that guy's got some issues, that Achilles guy. I think he's got some issues with this movie right here. I mean, I sound like, the biggest Nolan simp of all time compared to, Achilles right there. So, but you know what? I can't fault Achilles for having a problem with this movie here. This is truly an Odyssey for a modern audience. Yeah. So, for a more sensitive time. Okay. And, what Christopher Nolan basically is doing with the Odyssey is he's practicing, what's called presentism, right? Presentism, as in the presentism right there, where, you look down your nose, at the people of the past and how they live their lives and their values. And you just try to, just slap your modern day values on them and judge them, based on your present day values as if you're superior to them. So it's a very pretentious and pious is what that is there. So whoops. And so it's just the nerve, and I would say that too if I was like somebody in the 1920s or something like that, and I knew that somebody in in 2026 was trying to judge me, for living my life. And somebody in the 1920s is supposed to be aware of the values of 2026 and live their lives by 2026 values in 1923. Like, what the hell? Okay, so anyway, and hey, Unfolding Joker in the live chat there. Hey, I don't know, did you hear me earlier? I was asking if you've seen the Odyssey there. So yeah, my brother, if you don't mind, let me know in the live chat. Yeah, yes or no, or let me know if you saw the Odyssey. That would be fantastic. But speaking of more Odyssey here, it's amazing. It's amazing how fast Odysseus and his men were most of the time. They were very quickly able to unmoor their ships from the shores to get away from approaching danger. I mean, basically the first time we saw this was, they're on the island with the Cyclops, right? And, Odysseus, takes it upon himself to shoot the Cyclops right in the eyeball, right? And then they just hightail it out of the Cyclops page or cave right there. And so they're running down to the beach, and the Cyclops is chasing them down to the beach. They all get on the boats, and I'm like, these are heavy ass boats, man, heavy ass boats, and there's a lot of men in these boats here, and somehow they're able to get these big old ships unmoored from the beach before this massive creature, the Cyclops, can reach the beach and basically pound them in, just pound them away right there. So, so I'm like, for real, in real life, they would have been toast, and they did a better job of portraying this reality in the scene where they had like the 10-foot tall cannibals. When they go to that island, they had the 10-foot tall cannibals who looked like they walked right off the set of the old movie Excalibur. When those creatures were chasing them, then they did a better job at like showing how realistically how fast they could get the ships unmoored from the beach, and a lot of Odysseus's men died in that scene. But even still, though, in the actual poem by Homer, Homer says in his poem that those cannibals turned the ocean near the shore into an ocean of blood because of all of Odysseus's men that they killed. And again, did I mention they're cannibals? Ugh, gross. Yeah, and Foley Joker says, as far as like whether he's seen the Odyssey, not yet. I wanted to hear your thoughts. All right, appreciate that. Yeah, and yeah, you sounds like you weren't very interested. Totally can get into that right there. Totally understand that. And you're asking if I was done a review before RoboCop 2. I have not. I'm gonna have to do that. I will take that as a request. They're in Full of Joker. And remember up in here, the old memory bank, to do that as a retro review here one of these days. And because I do retro reviews all the time, because there's not always like good movies at the box office, or there's not always like compelling movies. I made it sound there for a second that I only review good movies. I don't review just good movies. There's sometimes where I'm pretty damn aware that a movie is going to be dog shit, but I still go out there to review it so that you guys know that it's dog shit as well there. But yeah, so there is some quiet. I think I do the retro reviews more on the movie weekends where there's not like a big release. There's not like a major movie release out there, and there's weekends like that. And so I got to do retro reviews on those weeks. So yeah, RoboCop 2. I'm RoboCop 2. I'm gonna review that right there. And RoboCop 2. It's nowhere near like the original, right? But it's not bad. I mean, it's still got the societal it's still got like the messaging about society, kind of that Paul Verhoeven put into the first RoboCop. It's just kind of a what's the word I'm looking for here? It's kind of a parody, or it just it's got a kind of a not an analogy, whatever, an allegory. There we go. It's kind of an allegory on consumerism and crime and a lot of other things. That's what RoboCop in 1987 had baked into it by Paul Verhoeven. So it's funny, like now to this very day. Paul Verhoeven, a lot of people will just go up to RoboCop or go to RoboCop. They'll go to Paul Verhoeven. We love RoboCop, man. It's a great action adventure movie, and we love it. It's just great with just all the action and gore and all that stuff and that kind of thing. And Paul Verhoeven gets so mad because he wanted it to be like this anti-capitalism satire, because he's this flake from Europe there, and it's pissed off. And he really gets pissed off about Starship Troopers because he directed that one, and people always coming up, yeah, man, I watched Starship Troopers, and it made me want to join the Marines, and he gets all pissed off because it's supposed to be an anti-war, anti-America satire. I didn't want people to join the military. I wanted them to shit on the military. And so he just gets all mad about how people took Starship Troopers. So he hears that, and I just hear, wah, 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 wah. Sorry, Paul Verhoeven. But RoboCop 2 was not directed by Paul Verhoeven there, so he did not come back for that one. But it's a good enough one. I mean, I like the little kid criminal. I thought that was pretty funny. And then what's his face? The guy who died here recently. Was Tom. What's his the tall guy? The tall actor that always plays bad guys. God, I want to say I hate it when you get somebody's name stuck in your head and you can't think of anybody else's name out there. So Tom. What is his freaking name? He's on Heat. He was in Manhunter. Tom Noonan, that's it. Tom Noonan. So yeah, Tom Noonan plays like the main bad guy there in RoboCop 2. So yeah, great movie whatsoever. So yeah, thanks for the suggestion, Unfolding Joker. That's fantastic here. So hey, welcome to and I'm gonna jack up your name there. I'm sorry for this in advance right here, but I've got Jatin Tiagi 31 in the live chat on the YouTube side here. It says Odyssey review in one word. How would you rank it in Nolan's filmography? One word. It's a lot of pressure, man. So much pressure, dude. Oh man. I'm gonna have to go with pretentious. Pretentious. That would be my one word for it because I think he's got it. I think he's so up his own ass with the interpretation that he used for the Odyssey right there. I mean, it's kind of interpretation where you see the interpretation like, oh, this is a guy that loves the smell of his own farts. Say no more. I got it. All right. I just the way you interpreted the Odyssey tells me everything I need to know. Say no more right there. How would I rank it in Nolan's filmography? Just I'm going to be real with you. It's his worst movie. It's his worst movie, hands down. It's his worst movie. Now I will say this because Nolan does the technical things well, and he's got great people on his in his crew like Hoyt van Hoytema, his cinematographer. The movie looks great for the most part. It looks great. And of course the fact that it's the first movie that has been filmed completely in IMAX, and so it's a great movie going experience just from a projection standpoint. Okay, it's still an interesting movie to watch. Okay, I'm not gonna go as far as entertaining, but interesting, compelling. I mean, it's better than watching like the new employee training video at Chipotle. I would say that. But yeah, but it's still saying all that to me. It's his worst film. Okay, now I've not seen his early movies like Following. There's Following, and then there's another one. Like as far as his movies that he did before Memento, I'm pretty sure there's like two movies that he did before Memento. I haven't seen those movies yet, but I'm guessing they're not as pretentious as the Odyssey, so I'm going to rank them above the Odyssey. But again, good question though. Good question from the YouTube side there. Yeah, Odyssey review in one word, right there. And so, since I was under pressure, pretentious is the one word I'm going to go with that. And yes, I have it dead last in his filmography. Okay, so a lot of people would say like they put Tenet as their worst movie. I think that's getting changed up for a lot of people now. I think Tenet. Hey, congratulations, Tenet! You're no longer the worst Nolan movie on a lot of people's Nolan movie list. That's for sure. So congratulations, right there. And for the Joker, one word: asshole. And yeah, IMAX shit films are visually appealing. Yes, exactly. They may be shit films, but they're IMAX shit films. All right, so there you go. The turd takes up the whole 70 millimeter screen. There you go. So absolutely. Come for the shit, but stay for the nuts. There you go. That's should be the new IMAX model right there. So, but yeah, keep those questions coming. Absolutely. And where were we at? Oh yeah, there we go. So I think it's time to kind of mix things up a little bit there, and we're going to move on here real quick. All right, let me ask you real quick here. If you are so inclined, please hit that like button right on down there. Okay, it's down there. It costs you no money whatsoever to click on it. And then also there's the follow or subscribe button. It's right on down there too. If you would click on that, If you haven't already, that would be fantastic. Again, basically, it costs you no money, barely takes you any time. And then there's also the notification bell button right on down there. And don't worry, fret not. It's not going to like spam you with emails or anything like that. All it's going to do is it's going to send you one lowly email letting you know that there's a brand new, piping hot, fresh, delicious new episode of Movies Merica coming hot and steaming like the shit I was talking about earlier. No. I mean something appetizing. A hot steaming pizza coming out of the oven right here. So that's what that notification bell button is for. And then real quick, lastly, as I wrap up this segment here real quick, I just want to talk to the viewers of this episode that aren't watching live. I just want to let you know that, well, first off, hey, thanks for watching. And second of all, we can still communicate back and forth with each other, okay? But we can't do it via the live chat, of course, because you're not watching the show live, like Unfolding Joker and when Jettin Tiagi 31. All right, they can communicate with me and via the live chat, but you can't because you're watching a recording of it. But you can use the comments section down below there, and we can communicate back and forth with each other that way. Just get in the comments section and let me know. Hey, what did you think of the Odyssey? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Somewhere in the middle. All opinions are welcome there. You tell me what you think of the episodes or the show in general. All of that good stuff right there. So, all right. So, and that is it for that. Unfolding Joker says, keep up the grind, bro. Yep, absolutely. I intend to do that. And thank you for that. Yeah, I intend to, remain here with my, my hard hat on, my helmet on and my flak vest and sitting here in the dangerous war-torn movie trenches, dodging the bullets and fighting the good movie fight for you. Everybody out there in movie land, there you go. Happy to do it there. So, and there you go. I like this. Unfolding Joker is going all bovine on me. The cow mince section below. And yeah, 2026, we still here. Absolutely. Yeah. Just try to get rid of us. That's for sure. So, all right. And we got, my man, Jet and Tiagi 31 on the YouTube side on the live chat. Any hopes and thoughts for Doomsday? God, I hope to God, because I'll be the first to admit it. I have been the guy that has gone scorched earth on most of the Marvel movies, probably all the Marvel movies since Endgame. Okay. Now, I didn't want to. I was hoping that after Endgame, Marvel would just continue with their excellence and every Marvel movie would be like this ultra entertaining movie like we had in the first, 3 phases there all the way up to Endgame. And then Marvel just showed their ass, okay, for the next 2 or 3 phases or whatever, however many phases there were there for the most part. And so again, I was unwilling. I unwillingly despised pretty much every Marvel movie after Endgame. I wanted to like them, but hey, I got to call it the way it is, right? Okay. So now Marvel, even thick-headed Marvel realize that, okay, all right, we dropped the ball. Okay. All right. We shit the bed with, phase 4, 5, 6, whatever phases, they were. And so they're like, all right, we need to beg. We need to beg and plead and suck whatever Robert Downey Jr. wants us to suck to bring him back. Okay. Same with Chris Evans. Okay. And we need to get them back for Doomsday. And so I will, after saying all of that, I hope, I'm not going to say I have high hopes. I'm going to say I hope that Doomsday is going to be good. I hope it's going to be a return to form, because I think it is directed by the Russo brothers, right? Isn't that? Let me see. I'm going to cheat here. Say I think it is. Let's see right here. Avengers Doomsday. Let's see here. I think it is. Come on. Yeah, it's directed by the Russo brothers. Yep. Okay. So they got Stephen McFeely back as one of the writers there. So yeah, I've got hopes for Doomsday there. I hope they keep like the characters from the movies that no one really give a crap about in the phases after Endgame. I hope they keep their cooperation, their participation to a minimum right there. All right. Black Captain America. Nope. But Steve Rogers is Captain America. Period. End of story. Okay, so let's and I like Anthony Mackie as an actor. Anthony Mackie's great. I love Anthony Mackie, especially in The Hurt Locker. Great movie. Or when he was in 8 Mile. 8 Mile, great movie with Anthony Mackie. Great, but he's not Captain America. So let's keep him to a minimum right there. Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, let's keep him to a minimum right there. So again, I would like the character of Shang-Chi, but Simu Liu, the guy who plays him, is such a friggin' woke friggin' crybaby every single time. Like it seems like every 5 minutes, something touches him off and he throws a fucking somebody's a racist, post out on social media. Okay, so according to Simu Liu, Simu Liu, everybody's a racist. Okay, everything everybody does is all about racism. Okay, so yeah, happy for I'd be happy if Shang-Chi just gets killed off like the first minute, you know, Thor is welcoming everybody to the facility or whatever, and Shang-Chi walks in, hey everybody, oh my god, and he slips on a banana peel and cracks his neck, on a step right there, and he dies. There you go. That would be totally cool with me if that happened to Shang-Chi, right there, and his 10 rings. Who else? Oh yeah, the Temu Avengers. Yeah, Temu Avengers. Yeah, they can go too right there. We'll get rid of them. So, but I hope that in spite of those not so adored characters, I hope in spite of that, Doomsday is a good movie. Okay, because I guys have to sit there and watch the movie, and I mean, I'd rather have a movie be entertaining. I'm not gonna, come, yeah. I mean, I know I'm weird like that, but I mean, a movie's got to be entertaining for me to enjoy it right there. So I'm always rooting for every movie to be good. Even when I go see this some an installment from the Scary Movie, franchise, I'm like, please God, let this movie be good, okay? Because I'm the one who has to sit there for 90 minutes and take this in. So yeah, again, so I know that's an overly long answer to your question there about Doomsday. So I'm hoping for the best right there for Doomsday, and then they got another one that's coming out after that here too. So now I will tell you, I'm more excited for Dune 3 on that same day, because was it December 18th is when those both are coming out right there. And I will be going to see Dune 3 on IMAX before I go see Doomsday right there. Before I see Doomsday in Infinity Vision. I love it. I love it. Wow. What Marvel did when they found out that, oh yeah, because we don't really dedicate filming our movies for IMAX and Dune does. Yeah, Dune's going to be getting all the IMAX screens for 3 weeks, and we get 0 IMAX screens. So we're going to cope by creating this thing called Infinity Vision, which Infinity Vision isn't a thing. Okay, Infinity Vision, all it is they look in your area and they're like, hey, what's the best premium large format screen in your area? And then they're going to sell that to you as Infinity Vision. Okay, it's that there's no such thing as Infinity. They didn't create a whole new projection technology or anything like that. So it's just their coping mechanism there, because they're not going to be in IMAX. Dune 3 is getting those IMAX screens. So I am looking forward to Dune 3 more than Doomsday, but of course I will see Doomsday, of course, because it's going to make a boatload of money. Even though, I mean, I will say, even though I'm looking forward to Dune 3 more, undoubtedly Doomsday is going to make more money. Okay, so I mean, it's got the Marvel name all over it. Okay, and I know Dune and it's a Frank Herbert. They're Frank Herbert books and all that stuff, but it just doesn't have um just the amount of adoring fans as Marvel does. That's for sure. So, but and to that, yeah, there you go. And yeah, for to that, right? Yeah, so yeah, Jayden Tiagi 31 says, "True that, true that." There you go. I like it. I like it. I dig it. All right, what should we do next here? What do we got going on here on the premises right there? Let's see what we got going on. And I just something came to mind here. So John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo, okay. Been in a bunch of movies, right? And it just occurred to me that John Leguizamo, I think he likes being in movies where dogs get sent to heaven. Okay. I mean, first he was in John Wick, and now this. And in the Odyssey, actually, he does the doggy dispatching, though. Okay. And because you'd see it early on in the movie, where his character, I can't remember how you pronounce his character's name, Eumaeus or something like that, is sitting there, and he's got like 2-3 puppies, in his lap, and then and John Lake was always like holding on the puppy, no, nope, don't like that one. It pitches the puppy over a cliff. Okay, and I saw that, I was like, what? I mean, oh my God. And I had been warned too. Somebody had warned me that there's animal cruelty in this movie. But I see like John Leguizamo, just tossing puppies over the cliff. And then he grabs the next one and he's about to toss it over the cliff. And then Matt Damon's Odysseus character is like, no, I've got a feeling about this puppy right there. We'll save this one and hey, toss the rest over the cliff though. Okay. So but I just thought that was weird right there. And speaking of dogs, as Nolan often does, he can't stick the emotional landing there, and that's what he often does. He can't inject emotion into his movies that well right there. And so because of that, he just can't stick the emotional landing when Odysseus is finally reunited with his beloved Argos, his dog, that same dog that he saved from being thrown over a cliff right there. So that dog's name was Argos, and Argos at the beginning of the movie, he's like this old dog, like 20 years old, and John Leguizamo's character even says like, yeah, this dog is much older than a dog should be, and this dog is apparently waiting, to finally be reunited with his master there, and struggling through pain. This dog Argos is struggling through the pain of being this old and the torture, because the suitors they're these real dickheads. They're the suitors. They just see this old dog and they don't even hesitate to torture it and kick it and all that. There, even though this dog is in pain. So I will say Christopher Nolan does a good job at making you hate the suitors right there. Okay, but you finally do get to see, and at the end where Odysseus makes it back to Ithaca, finally is reunited with his beloved dog Argos. Again, who struggled through pain and torture, and just to stay alive much longer than a dog typically does, just to see his master again one time, and then right at that point, Argos dies right then and there because he's like, "Oh, there's my master. I've seen him one more time. He's loving on me one last time," and then Argos dies. Right? We can't get one tear out of Odysseus during that reunion scene. Like, we can't have Matt Damon just shed like one tear and get kind of choked up. Oh, my beloved dog! I thought you would have died, but you're still alive. I love you, Argos. Oh, you're my dog. Something like that, right? Maybe not go to those lengths, but at least have a tear or something like that, or a little shaky bottom lip or something like that. Like, help the audience, like, just get all choked up, right? But nope, we don't even get one tear there. And that scene should have been not a dry eye in the theater home run But instead, predictably, Nolan just grounds out the first base there. So I just I would say I don't know what's going on, but that's quintessential Christopher Nolan. He just does not do emotion very well. He's got a few exceptions here or there. I mean, Interstellar, there's some emotion in Interstellar. I was gonna say Inception, but yeah, I guess Inception does have some in there that he did pull off. Let's see what else here. I think that yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think I was trying to think of like The Dark Knight had anything like that, but no, I mean it's just yeah, just the emotional beats, the emotion that Christopher Nolan, you know, uh, drums out of the audiences of his movies. I don't know. He just doesn't do it very well. His movies are very clinical. Okay, but they do look good. They all look good, but they're very kind of clinical there. So, all right, let's do this here real quick. Here, I want to do this. I want to check something out here. And there we go. But yeah, keep the comments, keep the questions coming here. And hey, don't be afraid. Don't hog all the Movies Merica to yourself. Okay, go ahead and send the link to this episode, to anybody that even remotely suspects is into movies, and even more than that, anyone who you suspects has seen the Odyssey. And I know a lot of you have seen the Odyssey because, like I said before, this movie made bank. That is faux show, absolutely. So, all right, let's do this. I'm going to share my screen because I want to. Oh, show you something there. There we go. Let's show the screen there. There we go. All right, let's get that going on. I love it. I love it. Okay, and let's share that out. Whoops, there we go. All right. So yeah, I want to show you this on X. I was about to say Twitter. There, everyone. I know I'm not the only one who does it. Everyone inadvertently, accidentally, still calls it Twitter. All right. But now I know it won't happen. But if Mel Gibson making an Odyssey movie with Elon Musk financing it could happen, that would be something to see. Okay. So, and you see it right here, in this particular tweet right here. The gaslighting is real. Okay. And I thought this one very simply spells it out. Okay. We have this supposedly progressive director makes a film set in ancient Greece, doesn't cast a single Greek, and regardless of that, or even in light of that, and the cast is as diverse as downtown LA. Okay, and then we have racist director Mel Gibson makes a film set in pre-colonial Mexico, only hires indigenous actors, has them all speak Mayan. But yes, he's the racist director there. So it's like, yeah. Just I'm not going to call Nolan a racist. Let's just say he doesn't have a whole lot of love for Greek people, okay, or portraying Greek people. That's for sure. But what else we got here? So let's see here. I thought we had another Mel Gibson. Nope. I guess that was it right there. But yeah, I mean, it would be something to see if he could make an Odyssey movie. Now, I'm betting dollars to donuts Mel Gibson is not going to agree to do an Odyssey movie. Like, first off, he's going to be like, well, it's okay. We just had an Odyssey movie. What kind of audiences are going to be for an Odyssey movie for me right now? It's just the new Odyssey movie is too fresh. So, I mean, but he might do it like, in 5 years. And I think that would be okay if he did it in 5 years. If Elon Musk financed it. Now, Elon Musk said that he's going to give him $100 million. Come on, Elon. Let me back up. Okay, Elon, $100 million. Thank you very much, Elon. But if we could get a few more people to, donate more, that way, we could maybe get it up to 200 million, because the budget for Nolan's Odyssey was what, 200, anywhere from 250 million to 275 million. Or I was going to say making it the most expensive movie yet, but now that honor that honor goes to one of the Jurassic World movies right there. But yeah, let's give Mel 200 million to make a better Odyssey movie there. And I know he would, because I mean he's directed and or starred in some movies that feel worlds more epic than the Odyssey. I mean, just we all know them, right? Braveheart, The Patriot, We Were Soldiers, Apocalypto. I mean, all these movies that just have so much more immersion and epic style than the Odyssey does. So I think it'd be fantastic to get Mel Gibson to do it right there. But he's got a couple of epic movies coming out already. Like, was it next year? Uh, his Resurrection is part one of the resurrection of the Christ is coming out next year. I think in May of 2027. There, and then part two is going to come out. Yeah, I think in May of 2028. There, so pretty epic. I mean, Jesus Christ, the resurrection of Jesus, our Lord and Savior. Pretty epic, if you ask me, right there. Absolutely. So, but yeah, just wanted to share that with you about Mel Gibson. And I know I see like some posts on X and other social media platforms like, "Oh, did anybody ask Mel Gibson?" Like, slow your roll, okay? Pull your head out of your butt. All right, it's just something that's being proposed on social media or something like that. Come on, whatever. Be cool. Be cool. All right, there you go. All right, what should we do next? What should we do next? Well, I think I know what we should do next because my beer over here is giving me the old side eye right there. So I think it's definitely brew review time. All right, let me introduce you to the brew for today, everybody. Here, so it's the big R on there. Yes, that's the big R for Rainier, as in Rainier beer. And this is a light-bodied lager. Okay, so it goes down nice and smooth. This is not going to be one of those beers where you take a swig off it and it just knocks you off your butt. Okay, it's not like a stout or a porter or a barley wine. It's a good old lager. Okay. And actually, this is a cultural icon of the Pacific Northwest. I had no idea until I started reading up on it there, and it's affectionately dubbed Vitamin R by its loyal fans here. So Vitamin R is the nickname for this right here. And this beer comes to us at 4.6% alcohol by volume, which sounds right around what you would expect for a lager. Okay. And now, as far as like how it tastes, right? That's the most important thing, right? So how it tastes is it's crisp. Okay, basically it doesn't have that too much of a burn. It goes down smooth. It's a smooth drinking beer, and I'm not getting any money from this brewery whatsoever. Okay, so it's completely above board, objective brew review here. So if it tasted like panther piss, I would definitely tell you that's for sure. So, but what lends to the taste of this is it uses a blend of golden barley, pedigree yeast, and a light touch of Chinook, Mount Hood, and Willamette hops. There, okay. So, and those three words sound very Washington State. That would be because they all have to do with the state of Washington. There, absolutely. And it's got a sweet, bready malt foundation with a faintly fruity background. Okay, kind of like Pete Buttigieg, and a clean, mildly crisp finish there. Okay, so, and I always like to let you guys know about the food pairings, what foods that this would go well with. And as I predicted, this brewery recommends that you pair this with like pub fare. Okay, burgers, hot dogs, chicken wings, fish tacos, stuff like that, right? And salty snacks, that kind of thing. So you could wash those down very well with the Rainier here. So now I didn't know this because I don't live in Washington State, and so I'm not a big Rainier beer drinker or anything like that. But I guess this beer has got a place in pop culture legacy. Okay, so I guess in the 1970s and 80s, Rainier actually became famous for its surreal, hilarious television commercials. Okay, created by a guy named Terry Heckler, and so there was like different variations of of the commercials for this beer here. Okay, and so one of the classic Rainier beer commercials was one where they had like wild Rainier beer bottles like galloping like livestock. So basically, it was just humans like basically when they had like these Rainier beer bottles that they had on them, and they were like running across the plains and that kind of thing. And then there's an iconic motorcycle ad mimicking the sound of the beer's name there. And let me play that there, that commercial there for you, so you get a little taste. All right. And of course, that's Mount Rainier in the background right there. Did anybody else get kind of a Budweiser feel from that commercial right there? So with all the frogs and all that in the background. So I did kind of get that same feel, that same vibe right there. So, but hey, maybe Budweiser, they stole that from that commercial right there, because that commercial came out in the '70s, and those Budweiser commercials, they didn't come out till what, like 2002, 2003, something like that. So yeah, way after this Rainier commercial that I showed you came out there. So, but anyway, yeah, go out and grab yourself some of this Rainier beer right there. I would recommend that. I'm officially giving it my recommendation, and check that out right there. And with that, that has been Brew Review Time. All right, let me do this here. I'm going to show you something here real quick, because you guys might want to get your hands on what I'm about to show you up in here. Okay, up in the hizzy. There you go. And let me get that going on. And let's present that. There you go. And I, of course, speak of the Movies Merica merch store. Yes, ta-da! And let me tantalize you with the different varieties of Movies Merica merch right here. Our featured item is the Big Mugs camo chucker hat. And no, you may have heard the rumors, but no, you don't have to talk like this once you put this hat on your head. All right, you don't have to talk like that. You don't have to put a big bunch of chaw in your gums or something like that. You don't have to do that, okay? Now you can talk normal. You can talk normal with this hat right there. I do have to tell you, it does not have any purple on it right there, which I know blows. I know it would look so much sweeter with the purple, but it does not have that on there. But we'll move on here. We'll show you the other products we have here. There's that same hat. And then this first set of gear here we have is the Big Mugs version of the Movies Merica logo there. So we got Big Mugs t-shirts here of all different stripes and varieties and types and all that stuff. We got a Big Mugs tank top there, a long sleeve, baseball long sleeve t-shirt. There, looks like it's worn by Ahmed right there. Got a pullover hoodie. We got a windbreaker there, and then even got a sports bra there. Okay, if you've got a lady that can pull that off, or you are a lady that can pull that off, by all means, got the sports bra there. Got some hats, and then now we're down to the Hollyweird Movies Merica logo here, and again, got a variety of gear here with that logo on there, so you are not hurting for choice, that's for sure. It's about the only thing I'm pro-choice about, okay, is your choice of all this gear here. Okay, there's Ahmed or Abdul again there, and we got a hoodie and a windbreaker, and then now we're getting down to my personal favorite style of Movies Merica logo. It's the Black Adam style of Movies Merica logo. So we got our t-shirts, and we got this other different kind of t-shirt here, tank top, the baseball long sleeve right there. So hello, Abdul. So yeah, all kinds of choice. You are not hurting, okay, for all kinds of decision making and that kind of thing with what gear you can get. That's for sure. Okay. Now, you might be saying, hey, Van, hey, Movies America. You know what? I've got all the Movies America gear. I got the t-shirts. I got the baseball long sleeve. I got it all, man. It's all hanging up in my closet. So, but what I really need now is I'm a man or I'm a gal who gets thirsty. All right. Sometimes I get a deep down body thirst. All right. I need that deep down body thirst to be quenched. And it can only be quenched if my beverage of choice comes in a Movies America, comes in some Movies America drinkware. Okay. And so, good sir, is there any Movies America drinkware? Okay. Please, for the love of Zeus, tell me there is. And my friend, get ready to be happy. Because we do have Movies America drinkware for you to behold. Yes, we have a coffee cup. We have a can-shaped glass. We have a pint glass. We have koozies to keep your chosen beverage hot or cold, whatever the case may be. So there you go, all right? And I'm picturing you there watching this show right now with a single tear going down your face right there, knowing that Movies America drinkware is out there. Absolutely. So there you go. So bust out that credit card and get that in the cart there on the Movies Merica Movies Merica merch website and go to town. There you go. Because coffee has never tasted so delicious as it does in a Movies Merica mug. Beer has never gone down so smooth and hearty as it does in the pint glass right there. Absolutely. So get it done. And I'm making it very easy for you to get to this Movies Merica merch website because it is down in the description. Yes, down there, everybody. Okay, no, not in my crotch. Down below in the description there. Absolutely. So check that out. You will not be disappointed there. All right, everybody? Okay. Time to wrap that up right there. And we got more Odyssey to talk about. So let's move it on. Okay. And hey, again, let's get everybody in the live chat. Everybody in the live chat, don't be shy. Get in the live chat. And I want to get some Odyssey questions. I want to get some Odyssey comments. I want to get some Christopher Nolan, remarks, commentary, whatever. If you know Christopher Nolan, get him on the show right here so he can explain himself about this movie. Okay. Let's do it to it right there. And and the links to this episode, the YouTube link for it, the Rumble link to it. Yeah, get it out there, man. Just email it to your buddies, your family, email it, text it, instant message it, carrier pigeon that stuff, whatever you got to do as far as getting the word out. The Movies Merica word out. Don't hog all the Movies Merica for yourself. Don't be stingy, all right? Just get in there and get that shared out. Okay, so all right. So now one thing that you may have heard about as far as the controversy and all of that stuff right there is the fact that there's a rap song. There's an Odyssey rap song there. And to that, I say hogwash. We should all celebrate there being the Odyssey rap right here. I mean, as a matter of fact, here's the Odyssey rap right now.
Check my style out. Rap song. We come from the South and our teeth are gold. We drink lots of codeine and sit around. A jam comes on and we all do the crump. Yeah. Woo!
Yo, man, it's Odyssey rap, motherfucker. Yeah, I knows you down. Downs with the Odyssey. There you go. Just like they used to do back in ancient Greek, man. They used to play that shit. There you go. Yeah, drop that mic in Athens. There you go. Absolutely. I love it. Anyway, but one thing that, has been controversial, of course, is the casting. Okay. Of the Odyssey right there. A lot of back and forth. Okay. A lot of, I have this opinion. I have that opinion. A lot of hostility, a lot of vitriol on the old social medias there about the casting about this movie. And so, you might be one of those people that are like, you know what, Van, could you shed some light on and provide some perspective as far as maybe like why Christopher Nolan cast the Odyssey the way he did? All right, so let me go to my man right here. He's going to explain it, explain the theory behind the casting to you right here and now. So check this out right here.
All right, well, it's 2026 and casting for movies is more of a business decision than an art decision. And even though this strategy has been disproven like 10 years ago, it's still gonna take us like 20 years to figure it out.
What strategy?
Thank you for asking. The strategy that if you want to get gay and Asian and black and white people to watch your movie, you don't actually need to cast gay and Asian and black and white people so they feel represented. You just need to make a good movie.
All right, yeah, we still don't get that yet.
The audience has made it pretty f***ing clear by now that all they care about is good content. They don't really care about political correctness and representation and casting. Especially if that political correctness or representation and casting comes at the expense of authenticity or quality of the movie. Exactly, but since we care more about the advertisers and the customers, f*** them. All right, let's get into it. All right, do we have any women representation in the movie?
Yes, Anne Hathaway.
Beautiful, that probably makes up for any bad female casting we have. All right, moving on.
Charlize Theron.
Awesome, but seriously, you can stop.
Mia Goth.
Please stop.
Zendaya.
God damn it. Black representation.
Yes, Lupita.
I said black, not Mexican, but we could.
Probably use some of that.
She is black. Really? Lupita? What's her last name?
I'm not even gonna try.
Oh, okay. She's black. Oh, okay, excellent. Who's she gonna play? I was thinking the most beautiful woman of all time, but then I thought the most beautiful woman of all time probably doesn't have hair. It's too bad this Lupita chick has hair.
You're gonna love what I have to tell you.
Men. Boo! Boo! Right, but seriously, are there men in this movie?
Obviously, we need somebody to carry the movie. Obviously. Elliot Page.
That could work. Plus the director, I believe, has worked with Elliot Page in the past, so there's like a connection there.
Has he worked with Elliot?
Yes, in Inception, or well, I guess that would have been Ellen Page. So, is that the same person, or
I don't know. All of it confuses me.
And who is this 84-pound no-muscle man going to be playing?
Achilles, the greatest Greek warrior of all time.
That tracks.
Rapers. Rapers?
That's supposed to be rappers. Are there any rapers in this movie? Probably a studio executive or two, but no, that says rappers.
Rappers.
Yes, and we got Travis Scott.
What?
Yeah, Travis Scott is gonna be in the movie. Okay, look, I'm not gonna lie. I like Travis Scott's music, but what role is he gonna be playing in the movie?
That of a poet.
A poet.
A poet.
Okay. No flame on La Flame. But can La Flame speak English?
I really don't know. I don't think so. Let's just move on.
Gay.
Only on Thursdays.
What is there gay representation in the movie?
Tom Holland?
No, he's not gay. He's gay.
What?
He's gay, but he's not homosexual, so we won't be hitting our homosexual quota. I just think he's gay, not it's not the same thing. We can move on. So just to be clear, we have yet another movie with Tom Holland and Zendaya, an 84-pound trans man playing the role of the greatest Greek warrior of all time, which, keep in mind, was previously played by Brad Pitt in peak physical condition, and a bald black lady playing the role of the most beautiful woman of all time.
This all comes off as very bigoted.
Well, that's the point of Hollywood and political correctness, to push people so far away from reality that when you start speaking logic, it sounds like you're bigoted.
Yeah, that is kind of what we do.
So all of that, we struck out across the board. Is there any reason why people would still come to watch this movie?
Well, there's still some really good actors and casting choices in it. Matt Damon, Robert Pattinson, Anne Hathaway, like I said. Jon Bernthal, that cop guy from Narcos, he was sick. I mean, it's a cool story. It's being directed by Christopher Nolan.
Okay, so it's probably gonna crush.
It's probably gonna do very well, yeah.
Yes, and so the prophecy, as foretold, came true. The movie made serious bank, absolutely. So all thanks to the normies there going to see the movie there because he also had he had the site on social media that was like, yeah, like the Odyssey. We love how Christopher Nolan interpreted it right here, like just making sure that the cast looked like the floor of the United Nations, and it had this feminist flavor to it, and all of that stuff. And so you had that. You knew they were going to go. Okay, you knew that they were going to go like multiple times, and then of course you have the normies who just see two words: Christopher Nolan. And they just go to the movie because of that. There you go. And then they're also paying like big time IMAX premium ticket prices right there. And IMAX tickets are like the most expensive tickets you can get out there. So the movie, so the Odyssey is going to get to the higher box office grosses faster, just because everyone's going out there and paying the highest movie ticket prices possible right there, because everyone's like going out and watching it on IMAX right there. Now, to those people out there that are kind of hoping that it's going to drop off in its second weekend, I got bad news for you, man. It is not, okay, because there are people that they're out there. There's only so many IMAX screens in the country, so the chances of you missing your IMAX window in the first week pretty damn good. Okay, so there's a lot of people that are going to go see it on the second, and third, and fourth weekends, and so I think this movie's going to have serious legs there. It's going to make serious money. Might be the highest grossing Christopher Nolan movie of all time. You never know. So, but anyway about that. But again, if somebody said, I just went to go see it because it's an IMAX experience, I would not blame them whatsoever. Okay. And like I said, it's the worst Christopher Nolan movie that he's made, but it's also fully filmed in IMAX, and it does look good in a lot of scenes because Hoyt van Hoytema, his cinematographer, is one of the great director of photographies or cinematographers out there. That's for sure. So, right here. So let me double check something right here. Make sure we're on the level. I think we definitely are here. And so we are at the point, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, where it's time to get patriotic. Okay, we're gonna go from the Odyssey, and we're gonna go from that to Patriot time. We're gonna play some Patriot games right now. And in order to do that, we're going to go into my personal favorite segment of every Movies Merica episode, and that segment is called the Movie Military Moment. Okay. Now, in case there's any newbies out there, any Daisy Fresh rookies watching the show right now who has no idea what the Movie Military Moment is, well, hey, you know what? It's your lucky day. I'm going to explain it to you. So the Movie Military Moment is just where I give myself a few minutes to pay tribute to a military hero that has been awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor, okay? And I'm ex-military myself, and so I just felt compelled when I started doing this show to, just use it, as an excuse to pay tribute to, people that I really consider true heroes, because that word hero, it just gets puked out way too easily nowadays. Like, my third grade teacher was a hero. No, she wasn't. No. She handed you crayons and wiped your boogers. Okay, no, she was not a hero. Yeah, she, good for her, being very nice and, and giving you maybe some nice memories and making sure that you didn't get hurt during recess. But did she storm across the beaches of Normandy? I think not. No. So did she save a child out of a burning building? Negative, Ghost Rider. No. So, but who I'm talking about in the Movie Military Moment, these are true heroes, actual heroes, not just lip service heroes. Okay. So right now you might be saying, hey, Van, that's great, paying tribute to these military heroes. But buddy, old pal, what does that have to do with movies, man? And you know what? That is a very good question. That question is legit. Okay. That is very legit there. And so I owe you an explanation on that, okay? But not until after this. All right, so it's explanation time. Let me try to get explanation. Let me grab another drink out my beer, man. I'm getting a little congested here. No, it's not good. And drink off whatever you guys are drinking, man. Hoist it up, man, and down it. There you go. Um, so the connection, okay, me paying tribute to a military hero and movies is this. So as you would expect, if you are awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor, you didn't get it for eating the most chow at the base chow hall or, having the snappiest salute or anything like that. No, you got it for doing something monumental and momentous and selfless. Okay. Something like, you know, you're storming, you're on Guadalcanal during World War II, right? You're in Guadalcanal, you know, horrendous, horrific time for our fighting men out there. There on Guadalcanal. Got to fight the Japs over here. Got to fight them over there. They're all over the place, right? It's a nightmare. Okay, and so you're with your fellow soldiers, and you realize like you're getting in this fight with all these Japs right there, okay? And you see your fellow soldiers over here, and then the Japs are about to flank them over there. And you realize, oh my God, man, my buddies are about to walk into an ambush, okay? So you, without any regard to your life, you get up, no cover whatsoever, okay? You are completely exposed, and you've got minimal amount of rounds, in your BAR, your Browning automatic rifle, okay? And you trudge, over to the Japanese pillbox where they're about to mow down your buddies, and you go there with the BAR and you start just mowing down Japs, right? And you're getting hit, because you've got no cover, you've got no concealment, nothing like that, okay? But you still trudge on towards those Japs. And eventually you're out of rounds, man. You've got no BAR rounds. You've got no rounds for your sidearm. The only thing you have left is one lowly grenade, okay? And these guys are still going to kill your buddies over here, your fellow Marines over here. But what do? You pull a pin on that grenade and you run into that pillbox. And sure, you take yourself out, but you take out all the Japs there that were going to kill all your buddies over there, okay? And you make the ultimate sacrifice, okay? You do something momentous, something selfless like that. And so if you were to see that on a big movie screen in front of you, that would be a hell of a movie military moment, okay? And that's the connection right there, okay? So now I know some of you might be going, that's pretty thin there, Van. That's pretty thin. It's pretty lame, pretty thin. And to you, I go, I don't care. All right. It's any excuse to pay tribute to military heroes is a good excuse. Okay. I don't need much of an excuse. Okay. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. There you go. All right. So let's get into the tribute for our movie military moment honoree for tonight. I think we've made them wait long enough. And our honoree for tonight is one Lieutenant Edouard Victor Michael or Michael Isaac. Okay, hopefully I'm not butchering any of those words, any part of your name whatsoever. Okay, so, but he fought in World War I. Okay, the good lieutenant fought in World War I. Okay, and his highest rank turned out to be lieutenant commander, but he was a lieutenant when he basically showed these heroics. So here in World War I, okay? And this action took place aboard German submarine U-90 as a prisoner of war here, okay? So, and let's find out more about the good lieutenant, but I think the good lieutenant deserves having some movie military moment music. Don't you? I think so. So, let's not make him wait any longer. Let's do this. This is the movie military moment. And in this movie military moment, we pay tribute to one Lieutenant Edward, Victor, Mikhail, Isaac, who fought in World War I. And let's find out more about the good lieutenant, shall we? When the USS President Lincoln was attacked and sunk by the German submarine U-90, 21 May 1918, Lieutenant Isaac was captured and held as a prisoner on board the U-90 until the return of the submarine to Germany, when he was confined in the prison camp. During his stay on the U-90, he obtained information of the movements of German submarines, which was so important that he determined to escape with the view to making this information available to the U.S. and Allied naval authorities. In attempting to carry out this plan, he jumped into the middle of a rapidly moving train at the imminent risk of death, not only from the nature of the act itself, but from the fire of the armed German soldiers who were guarding him. Having been recaptured and reconfined, Lieutenant Isaac made a second and successful attempt to escape, breaking his way through barbed wire fences and deliberately drawing the fire of the armed guards in the hope of permitting others to escape during the confusion. He made his way through the mountains of southwestern Germany, having only raw vegetables for food, and at the end swam the river Rhine during the night in the immediate vicinity of German sentries. And we salute you, Lieutenant Isaac, for your heroics and what you did for our country. And that has been the movie Military Moment. All right, there we go. I'm pumped. Are you pumped? You should be pumped, all right? Because, yeah, hearing about those heroics right there from the lieutenant, I mean, like, not only getting captured, but, risking life and limb, by getting the information about their submarine movements and all of that. So, man, you guys got balls of solid rock. That is for sure. So when I read stories and and hear stories like that, I start asking myself, like, hey Van, what have you done with your day today? Because you sure as hell haven't done anything like that. And you're having trouble like motivating yourself to like go wash and wax your car. Okay, I don't think that's too much to ask, considering this guy, got captured by the Germans and was risking, his ass getting killed to get, classified information for his country. So now I'm plenty motivated to go wash and wax my car and do whatever I need to do right there because I'm so pumped. Okay, there you go. So yeah, and just to let you guys know that if you guys liked hearing that citation of what the lieutenant did to be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor, there we go. We'll try that again. You can go to the website I go to that I get these citations from, if you want to check those out. And that website is cmohs.org/recipients. And that's a great site. They have it very well organized. You can find Congressional Medal of Honor recipients, by military conflict, one at a time or multiple military conflicts at a time. Fantastic. So outstanding website to see that stuff there. Okay, so, but anyway, I think it's time to wrap up this movie Military Moment. All right, I think we are getting ready to wrap up this episode, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. But let me double check something here. I want to just get up in here and just to see what we got going on in the world right now here of Rumble. Let's see what we got. I think we're good there. And good there. I think, yeah, there we go. Okay. Just cross my T's and dot my I's, getting my ducks in a row and all of that stuff right there. So right now, just going to let you know what movie I will be going over next week. And so next week is one of those movie weeks, like I was talking to Unfolding Joker about a little earlier, where it's just not really a whole lot coming out this week. I mean, we had The Odyssey come out last week. We got Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movie coming out, not this weekend, but a week from this weekend there. And so kind of this weekend's just kind of right in the middle there, and there's not a whole lot of movies there, not really any movies that kind of blow my skirt up or anything like that. So I'm doing a retro review, and I am going to be doing a retro review of Baby Driver. Yes, the fantastic, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just kind of a revolutionary action movie, Baby Driver, and it's a great movie. It's one of those. It's the first movie I've personally seen, and someone can let me know in the live chat if they've seen a movie like this already, where the action gets set to music, to the beat of the music right there. It's so badass. And Baby Driver is about this guy named Baby, and he's just like this great driver. He's a great getaway driver for all these criminals there when they're robbing banks or whatever, and so he's just, this dude can drive, so they all use him as their getaway driver. So kind of like Ryan Gosling in the movie Drive, right? But this is Baby Driver, not Drive. Okay, so yeah, it's got Ansel Elgort playing Baby. You've got John Hamm, from Mad Men. You got Jon Bernthal, who we just saw in the Odyssey. Jon Bernthal's in this. It's got the very smokealicious Isa Gonzalez in this. Isa Gonzalez, she would have been a great actress to play Helen of Troy. She's so smoking hot. Okay. Want to touch the Heidi? Ooh. Okay, there you go. Just throwing it back, Wayne's World style. There you go. Hey, the movie even has Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers in it. So we said it again. From the Red Hot Chili Peppers in it. There you go. Good. But it's an action comedy movie. It's good. Baby Driver, fantastic movie. I would not be surprised if some people have not seen this, Baby Driver. Check it out. I would check it out. I was about to say, on Sunday, check out my spoiler-free review, and I'll let you know if it's good or not. Well, I kind of let the cat out of the bag. All right, I think the movie is damn good. Okay, so see it. So then, see it. Between now and Sunday, we'll talk Baby Driver, and then a week from tonight, Movies Merica spoiler warning. The very show you're watching right now will be all Baby Driver. Absolutely, we'll be talking movies, baby. Yeah, we'll be talking about Baby Driver next week there on the show. Let's double check something right here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So again, yes. So the Sunday show about Baby Driver, it's my Movies Merica live show, and it comes on Sunday afternoons, always at I forgot for a second, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, and 1 p.m. Pacific. Okay, it's the Movies Merica live show this week on Sunday afternoon, all about Baby Driver, and then a week from tonight, we'll be talking about Baby Driver on Movies Merica spoiler warning, and that comes on at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 5 Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific. A week from tonight, Baby Driver time. Absolutely. So, and it's got the He Who Shall Not Be Named, Kevin Spacey, in the movie there as well. So there you go. Jamie Foxx is in it too. Jamie Foxx is in it as well. There you go. Let's see what else we got going on here. I want to make sure we have everything in order. And I think we definitely do have that going on. I think we're looking to wrap this up, and by they, I mean me right there. So, okay. So real quick here, just let me implore you, if you would follow me, Movies Merica, on any of the platforms that I'm on. I'm on X under @MoviesMerica, if you'd follow me there. And then if you see any kind of posts that I have on my account there, you want to like those or comment on those, that'd be fantabulous. Okay. I'm also on Facebook. I have a Movies Merica page, Movies Merica group on Facebook. I have my Van Ebert profile page on Facebook there as well. If you want to follow, subscribe, whatever you do, friend me. I guess that's what you friend me on Facebook there. I'm on Rumble. There's like 3 Rumble Movies Merica accounts. So if you would follow or subscribe all 3 of those Movies Merica accounts on Rumble. I'm on Gab. If you're a Gab guy, Gab gal, I'm on Gab as well under Movies Merica. I'm on the Gram. Yep, I'm on Instagram. The platform, the social media app there, or you go there to see the ladies shaking their asses and all of that stuff. There you go. But I'm also on there, not shaking my ass or anything like that. So, but I'm on there with, let me just say, my Instagram presence isn't so dynamic. Basically, well, really, what gets put on there is like notifications of my show coming on and the links to watch the shows. That's about it. Okay, there you go. So, what else am I on? There you go. So I'm on. Yeah, I think I named everything. I think I covered everything right there. But yeah, please follow or subscribe to me on all those platforms right there. It costs you nothing whatsoever to do that. You'll have my eternal gratitude. That's for sure. So absolutely appreciate it already. All right, so let's move on here. And you know what? Like I always say, everybody, as I say, thank you for watching this episode. As I always say, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya. Howdy, my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Would you do me a favor and check me out at solo.to/Movies Merica? That's where you would go for a one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with me, Movies Merica. And then also, if you want to check out the audio-only podcast versions of my Movies Merica live episodes, that's my spoiler-free reviews that I do on Sunday, you can go to moviesmerica.com or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, places like that. And then, actually, if you would also check me out on the social media sites like X and Instagram and Facebook and Gab. And I'm on those locations all under @Movies Merica. So it is very easy to find me out there, all right? So get to it, everybody. All right, thanks for watching. Later.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got a popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right, thanks for watching.